Hey guys, it's Jen. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are off to a good start for your day. Little dreary out there now, but my kids are still outside, so put them in their splash gear and send them out. So, anyways, pretty good day yesterday. The girls, with a little bit of negotiation, agreed to do some of the activities, and once they finally got into the beading and the patterning with the beading, they were super into it. Ended up making bracelets last night, and it turned into something entirely different. They wanted to have a bracelet store. When I talked to them today about, or last night, about how it was going to be farming again tomorrow, they were not happy. They wanted to switch to doing store and bead making. So it kind of reminded me that just because I am a parent, things don't always go as planned, and sometimes you just have to improvise. It kind of reminds me of when I used to do supply teaching, and this happened as a regular teacher or as a supply teacher, but you have this awesome lesson that you want to do, and or else a teacher has left you very minimal for a lesson. You're left to improvise, and standing in front of a room full of like grade 7 or grade 8s that don't want to do what you're doing, and you're not really sure how to extend it because you're not even sure about this content or what's going on, and it's like you've just been thrown in a shark tank and all eyes are on you and you just need to think quickly. And usually it's around that time when the principal will come in and be like, how's your day going? How's it going? And so we just have to talk about how we're just doing some open-ended learning right now and kind of wing it. So that's how I felt kind of yesterday with my girls. So reeled them back in, told them we're going to continue with farming, but if we want to explore beading, we definitely can. Last night, everyone got a new bracelet or necklace of some sort. So we've all got kind of blinged out last night. So that was fun. Okay, remember yesterday when I said that I wasn't going to give Cowley a clipboard for a scavenger hunt because she didn't really seem that into clipboards? Well, let me tell you, that did not go over well. She needed a clipboard desperately, so we had to hunt one down before we could proceed. And it was interesting just to kind of hear her inner monologue about why it was so important to her. But it's because Maya had said we're going to be letter detectives, and maybe had that not been said, we wouldn't have needed the clipboard so badly. But apparently, clipboards are always something that a detective has. So you cannot be a detective without a clipboard, in my girl's mind. So anyways, they both had their clipboards. Oh, and also the other day with the baking sheets, when I had said that I only, or with the muffin cups or tin things, when I said I had only put a small half a dozen, 6 together for Callie to make it manageable. That also did not go over well because she wanted the big one. So before we could proceed, we had to go hunt down another big muffin tray of similar to Maya with 12 because Callie needed that as well. So from here on in, I will be having sort of like different learning. I don't mean expectations as in like I'm grading my children. I just mean like what I think they might be able to do. But that will be different between the two girls, but I will supply them with the same materials. So Callie feels just as important as Maya does when she's doing her learning. So anyways, yes. Okay, so what's going on today? Oh, I should have mentioned probably yesterday that the Three Little Pigs book that I put up on Bookflix, 2 of the 3 pigs are actually killed by the wolf. And I should have giving you that warning because last night that created lots of discussion after we'd already watched it online, but also their understanding of the 3 little pigs was that they outsmart the wolf at the end, and by moving in with their big brother that made his house out of brick. And that in fact is not what happens in this book. In this book, the pigs they find out the hard consequence of making a house out of straw and making a house out of sticks. So unfortunately, I'm sorry I didn't tell you that. Next time I will give you a disclaimer on that because that may also lead into conversations about death, which also happened, and you deserve to be warned about that. So sorry about that. So this is a book by James Marshall, and James Marshall is a really captivating audience in elementary learning because he takes stories that children are traditionally familiar with, such as the Three Little Pigs, Little Red Riding Hood, and he puts like little spins on them. So it's always interesting to see how he's going to deviate from the usual story that we know, and just kind of how that can generate different discussion. You can also then talk about connections between books because when people in general read and kids, they have their own schemas about things, about how the book is supposed to play out. And so you can kind of make a book to book connection between this morbid Three Little Pig version and the other Three Little Pig versions that maybe they've heard previously. So anyways, sorry about that. Okay, so today we are continuing with the farming theme, day 3. This morning I read, and this is the book that I'll post a link to, we read Mrs. Wishy-Washy's Barn, and in this book, the animals are sick of Mrs. Wishy-Washy, or the farmer, always wanting to clean the animals, and so they run away from the farm to the city because they think life is better when your parents aren't chasing after you to bathe you, and they just think life must be better. And then they encounter some other ordeals that happen while they're living in the city, one involving paint, and they realize that maybe Mrs. Wishy-Washy's farm wasn't so bad, so they come back home and they just give in to the bath time and realize it's not so bad. So that also furthered some discussion in our family because our girls tend to run away when it's bath time and generally put up a stink. So we got talking about that. So this morning then, after reading that book, we just kind of collected the girls' Little People farm animal set. And we just took all the animals out, and they're currently outside. It's a little damp and dreary outside, but they've kind of dug a farm with mud and a field for the cows, and they've sort of done some dramatic play this morning with that, with the promise that when they bring in the animals and the animals are all full of mud, I'll give them each their own bathtub with the animals, and they get to wash it off with soap and a toothbrush, which is new and interesting to them, so they're excited about that. And just the fact that they get to get their toys as muddy as they want, and when they come in, we're just going to wash it, and that's kind of like a connection to the book as well. So in addition to that, today we're also going to we are going to be doing craft. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. We're going to be doing a craft related to then Mrs. Wishy-Washy's farm, and each of the girls chose an animal that they wanted to do. And I mean, I foresee it, we're going to be making more animals, but right now we have a pig. So I started cutting out the pig, and then I thought back to the book, the nonfiction book that we read the other day about pigs, where it said that pigs were not always pink. So they're not backed into a corner with their learning. And I did cut up some white ones as well. And the girls could choose to do whatever they want with it. But I'm going to set out finger paints. And the girls are just going to be invited to make it as messy as they want. And then I also have, for the tails, just some pipe cleaners. So that is another activity. Now, since the paint will already be out, if you are a parent or a teacher that has small children and you've ever gotten out paint, you know it is an ordeal. By the time you put down the placemat, you get out everything, you read the riot act and discuss all the rules of painting, you put on the smocks, you get out the little towels, the water to wash it off. So by the time you do all that, it's a big deal. So if you're going to paint, you are going to paint like... That is your paint day. Enjoy it. We'll give you lots of activities regarding paint, but then paint is now then being put away then for another week. So that is your paint day. So enjoy it. So once we already have the paint out to paint the pigs, we are also going to do a math activity with paint as well. So I got this paper at Staples. Surprise, surprise. And it's just letter paper. It's really cheap. I got like, I think 50 feet of it for about under $10, I think. But it's fantastic because we can put it on the floor in our house, and then the girls can lie on the floor or they can paint at the table. But I don't actually have an easel like set up for the girls, so when they paint, they will either be doing it on a flat surface or lying on the floor. So what I'm going to do with this today is just put out numbers. So I haven't written them yet, but I'll just write it. So I could even make a big circle and then put the number, say 6 in there. And then when the paint is out, the girls can represent 6 in that way. So they can use, I've put out for some different painting materials, aside from just a paintbrush. They can obviously use their hands. They can also use Q-tips, cotton balls. They could use other little stampers, paint stampers that I have. So they're just going to have a circle or whatever, and then they're just going to have a number in it, and then they're just going to put dots or whatever they want to represent the number that is in there. So remember that the other day when I talked about the fact that some children at this age, such as Cowley, will not have number recognition. I shouldn't have used the number 3 when I said that, because Kelly actually does recognize the number 3, but she is able to just rotely count all the numbers, but she isn't necessarily able to recognize that I see six objects, that is 6. So we're still kind of working on that with her. But I also lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. So when you're putting the number here to represent, you might want to represent it like it is on a dice. And also thank you to the person who messaged me to tell me that it is not dots on a dice. They are called pips. So that is good to know. I will call them dots, but it is noted that I do know now they're called pips. So thank you for that. And also thank you for someone else that clarified that those tongue thingies yesterday that I was talking about are called tongue depressors. So that is also helpful to know. I should have a list of terminology before I speak, but as you can see, I just try to wing it because I just don't have a lot of time to be redoing the video. So thank you for your patience as I lose words or my train of thought. So this is real life. This is in my head thinking right now. So when you're putting a circle there, you just might want to represent it by two pips or 2 dots. So like say 1, 2, and then you might ask your child, oh, can you find another way to represent 2? And they might even stamp right over top of the dots that you've put there with paint or whatever. But say for Maya is able to recognize a number 7. She's able to recognize the number 7, but then also she's able to recreate and what's the word I'm looking for? And she's able to represent the number 7 then as well. So maybe in like a number sentence, to represent a number 7, for example, would be 4 plus 3, but she might also just put 7 objects. So that will be math today. And I mean, inevitably, once you get the paint out, that'll probably lead to lots of other painting today. So I think that's everything. Oh, I will show you also from Staples. This pack of paint, I have already opened it, so it's been used, but I have this pack of paint. This is really awesome for the girls. They love it. It comes with shimmery paint. It comes with textured paint. It comes with primary colors. So it's a really great container of paints for the kids. They love it. All right. So for literacy today, it's kind of like a fun literacy activity, but also kind of gross motor as they're putting together the objects. We are going to be going on, well, the girls wanted to go on an Easter egg hunt, so we're going to maybe adjust the activity, but currently I will explain the activity. So I have out the eggs. We had them conveniently in our storage room because we hadn't really put away all of our Easter stuff yet. And the girls really wanted to use them again. So what I've done is I've just taken a bunch of these eggs, which also relate to our theme this week anyways, and I've put sight words on them. So I've put a bunch of sight words. So remember I posted the Dolch word list the other day talking about the top words that you introduce kind of to pre-kindergarten, kindergarten to grade 1 in sight words. So I did that, but I specifically looked on the list for words that I know Maya, when she's writing simple sentences, wants to use and is usually asking us to help her spell. So for example, yes, no, we, he, she, went, like, want. So I've written them on all of these eggs. And then what I'm going to do, they do know that one, and they know how to spell that one. So, back on this topic. So the reason I did that is because if they're words that are actually relevant to Maya, she's far more likely to remember how to spell them. So I'm putting words that are in her vocab and in her sentence structure, because it's funny how kids are, but the words that are relevant to them and mean something to them are the words that they know how to spell. Like Maya's repertoire of words that she can spell are mom, dad, Jenn, Craig, Cowley, Love, Mitch, who's our cat. So just include words that are relevant and important to them. Because, for example, Maya doesn't know how to spell so many other words, but yet she wants to know how to spell the word unicorn and rainbow and stuff because that's relevant to her and she wants to know how to spell that. So anyways, so what I am going to do, it might be changed a bit to make it made into a hunt, I'm not sure, but what I was planning on doing was just opening all the eggs so they're separated, and the kids then, Maya and Cowley, I will do it separately with them. They just have to try to look for the 2 separate pieces and connect them together. So as you can see, if they're based on a variable such as color, and you could say, well, what's to prevent a child from just matching blue and blue? You know what? That's perfectly okay if they're going to match blue and blue. that's probably what Callie is going to be doing today, is just matching them. And then, for example, what happens when you get to two different blues, then maybe I'll point out, oh, this one has a letter A on it. Can you find the one with the letter A? And that'll help her with that. But quite honestly, that's okay with her. With Maya, you could say, well, what's to stop Maya from doing the same thing? And it's true, but I'm just going to get her to really focus on the word then, and to really concentrate then on trying to read as opposed to just recognize the colors, because I already know that she knows how to do that. So that is what's going on today. Tomorrow we're going to be planting seeds. So if you've had a chance to get some seeds, we talked about that last night and what we wanted to plant. The girls would love to plant a vegetable garden. We wanted to build raised planter boxes. That way bunnies can't get it, but they want to plant carrots precisely so bunnies can get it. So we are now in discussion about whether or not we wish to welcome all the neighborhood bunnies into our backyard, or whether we will in fact raise them. So it kind of generated some fun discussion last night just about what seeds we want to plant, and we did expand on just wanting to plant wildflowers. We're also now going to plant some vegetables and a vegetable garden. So there's actually some really awesome resources online, and actually there's some digital, like, interactive ones where they kind of show you, like, you enter in your personalized information for your backyard space or wherever you want to garden, and then it'll tell you how the distance that you have to have between seeds for them to grow appropriately. So it'll tell you also, like, almost like in a grid pattern, that's how you plant. And then you'll also be able to have an idea on approximately how long until you'll see the sprouts, approximately how long until you see this amount of growth. So you can just kind of follow along just to see, because I don't have a green thumb at all. So this was not something that I knew, but we started doing gardening boxes at our school a few years ago. And then that's how my class and I did it. We were just able to kind of keep track of what we had planted where by using popsicle sticks. And then we could sort of know the distance that we had to plant and sort of how long we should expect everything should take. So we're not scaling back and killing what we think are weeds, and it's actually the beginning of our our plant system. So I think I've said everything today that I was going to. I would like to know if anyone knows how to make it so my face, so on the YouTube, when it has my face for the video, it's always like I'm caught in an awkward moment. It's like, and then that's like what everyone sees. I just don't get it. Why would they randomly choose that as the best photo to represent my video? So if you know how to switch that, then that would be great, because I just think that that's just unnecessary to have that look for all of my videos. So yeah, we could probably fix that problem. So other than that, I wanted to mention one other thing. So this is sort of like a little, not a plug, but I just want to bring up mental health for just 1 second. So this is a difficult time for everyone, particularly for those who previously have struggled with mental health. There's so much going on right now. Some people are feeling, some of the friends I've talked to are feeling isolated. Some people are feeling fearful, anxious, depressed, lonely. There's so many different things that people can be feeling right now. And I too am feeling a lot of those, as are friends. And I think maybe the girls are too. It's just coming out in different ways. So it's a very uncertain time. So all we have is each other. We can all be there for each other. And maybe try to focus your energy in a constructive way. I have found in the past that if I've been particularly anxious, that I have channeled my energy in unhealthy ways, and ultimately that's not helpful. So even sort of playing teacher at home with the girls has sort of helped refocus me, because if not, you know what, like, it's tempting to just want to go drink, or, just try to get rid of those uncomfortable emotions right now. So just know that you're not in it alone. Reach out to someone, and maybe try to find something to distract you, like some kind of cause that you can kind of feel, a little more confident in right now. So anyways, just we'll talk more about that next time, because mental health is something that I have struggled with in the past, and I do want to be open about. And I just want you to know that we are all feeling some degree of this. So yeah, we're all in this together, guys, and we will all get out of it together. So anyways, I hope you have a great day and happy learning. Talk to you later. Bye.